Hey, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry you couldn't come tonight. Honestly, the reunion felt kind of off without you there. People kept asking about you. Even Mrs. Keene said it didn't feel complete without you lighting up the room like you used to. Were you okay? What happened? That's nice of you to say. I actually hurt my foot a couple days ago. Slipped on the stairs like an idiot. It's not too bad, but walking around all night didn't sound great. I figured it was better to sit it out. Still kind of disappointed I missed everyone. Yeah, I get that. It was surprisingly fun. And a little unexpected, too. What does that mean? So, after things wrapped up, I ended up bumping into Marcus in the hotel lobby. He said he didn't want to drive back that late, so he booked a room. We talked for a while. It wasn't planned or anything, but it just sort of happened. The chemistry was intense. And, well, I stayed. I'm still here, actually. He's in the shower. You're serious? I didn't plan it, Lena, but the way he looked at me tonight, it felt different. And I thought you should know before someone else mentioned it. That's thoughtful of you, though I've got to admit I didn't expect this from you. Look, I didn't do this to hurt you, but come on, how serious were you two, really? You never even talked about him that much. Half the time I wasn't even sure you were still seeing each other. We were figuring some things out. Not everything has to be broadcast. I just meant you didn't seem like you really clicked. Not the way we did tonight. He needs someone who keeps up with him, someone who pushes back, not tiptoes around everything. And you think that's you? I know it is. I didn't hesitate. You did. That makes all the difference. I mean, come on, you saw it too, right? The way he dresses, the way he talks, that name. You can tell he comes from serious money. You really thought I wasn't going to notice that? So that's what this was about for you. No chemistry, no feelings, just leverage. Don't look so shocked. I'm not the only one who's tired of living like I'm stuck in someone else's leftovers. I've spent my whole life clawing just to stay one step ahead of broke. Guys like Marcus, they change that, if you're smart. That's what you call this? Being smart? Going behind my back, sleeping with someone you knew I was seeing just because you liked his credit limit? You act like I stole your husband. From where I'm sitting, it looks like things were already slipping between you two. You barely mentioned him. Half the time I wondered if you were even into it. I didn't realize I needed to perform my relationship for your benefit. You know I don't air things out like that. Whatever, I just think you need to stop acting like this is some huge betrayal. I didn't do anything you wouldn't have done if the shoe were on the other foot. That's where you're wrong. You think this was some kind of race to the finish line, like the one who gets the guy wins? But you never stopped to ask what kind of prize you were actually chasing. Okay, now you're just being bitter. Look, I get it. You're embarrassed. You thought you had something real, and it turned out someone else wanted him more. But don't try to rewrite it now like you're above it all. I'm not rewriting anything. I'm just telling you this isn't going to end the way you think. And when it doesn't, I want you to remember I tried to say something. What's that supposed to mean? You'll see. We need to talk.
Wow, didn't expect to see your name pop up again. Thought we'd closed the book on that whole thing.
Ava messaged me. She told me you spent the night together after the reunion?
Yeah, she might have mentioned that. Look, I wasn't trying to start drama. It just kind of happened. You know how nights like that go. Familiar faces, some drinks, people catch feelings.
She thinks you're serious about her. She's already talking like the two of you are some perfect match made at a 5-star hotel.
She's enthusiastic. That's not a crime. I never promised her anything. I didn't even chase her, Lena. She came to me.
And you just let it happen. Didn't bother to stop her, didn't bother to explain the part where this is all smoke and mirrors.
You're coming in hot for someone who ended things, don't you think? You walked away. Now you're mad someone else stepped in?
Don't twist this around. I walked away for a reason, and you know damn well what that reason was. You left out things, important things she clearly doesn't know either.
Look, whatever's between me and Ava is separate from whatever happened with us. Don't act like I'm some villain just because we didn't work out.
This isn't about not working out. This is about you pretending to be something you're not. With me, with her, with whoever's next.
All right, now you're just moralizing. You think I'm the only guy who's a little complicated? Nobody's perfect, Lena, least of all you.
The difference is I'm not trying to con anyone into loving me. Ava thinks you're the answer to every problem she's ever had. You're letting her believe that just like you let me.
If she wants to believe the fantasy, that's on her. I never asked her to worship me.
But you won't stop either, because it benefits you, because it buys you time. Because you're still the same manipulative parasite I walked away from.
Damn, you been rehearsing that one?
You think this is a joke? You think you're still in control? But here's what's going to happen. Either you tell her the truth, or I will.
And what truth is that exactly? Come on, Lena, say it.
You know what it is. You've known since the beginning. I gave you the chance to be decent. You failed.
Look, I'll handle it. Eventually, when things settle, no need to nuke everything overnight.
She deserves to know who she's letting into her life, and you're out of time. I should probably feel bad about this, but I don't. Not even a little. I mean, come on, you left the door wide open. I didn't steal Marcus, Lena. You just dropped him and expected no one else to notice what a catch he was. And now, he's mine. I've got his attention, his time, his hands all over me. And you've got a swollen foot and a front row seat. Honestly, if I were you, I'd be miserable. You're assuming I'm watching from the sidelines. I'm not. I stepped off the field entirely. And if you think you've won something, Ava, then I suggest you hold on to it tight, because you have no idea what you're really carrying. Oh, please, don't act like you gave him up. He lost interest in you the second I showed him what confidence looks like. You weren't strong enough to keep him. Now that he's with someone who actually knows how to keep his attention, you're panicking. That's what all this vague little "you'll see" nonsense is. Panic. No, Ava, panic is what comes later. Right now, you're just walking straight into it with your eyes wide shut. Let me guess, you've been waiting by your phone for an update, so here it is. He got me earrings. Not just any earrings, gold, delicate, custom design. I mentioned them once, weeks ago, in a throwaway comment, and he remembered. Do you have any idea what it feels like to be seen like that? To have someone actually notice the small things without being told twice? Of course you don't. That's why you lost him. It's impressive, the way he performs affection. Little gestures, perfectly timed surprises. He's practiced. But remembering what you like isn't the same as caring about who you are. One scratches the surface, the other requires something real. And I'm telling you now, what you're seeing isn't real. You sound ridiculous. He bought me jewelry, not a coffin. I'm sorry you didn't get the deluxe version, but that's not my fault. I'm not the one who bored him into looking elsewhere. Maybe if you hadn't been so busy playing the quiet, mysterious act, he wouldn't have gotten tired of you. He didn't get tired, he just got caught. And you're the next willing distraction. We went shopping today, not just regular shopping. I am talking exclusive, no price tags kind of shopping. He took me to this boutique and said, pick anything. I told him I couldn't afford to even touch most of it, and he just laughed and said, that's not your problem anymore. I've never felt more taken care of in my life. And I've got to say, you must really hate picturing that. No, I don't hate it. I just know what it means. Guys like Marcus don't give generously. They invest, and not in people, in reactions. The coat, the boutique, the charm, it's all part of the illusion. He builds a fantasy around you until you forget to check where the exits are. Oh, here we go again, the tortured warning act. It's getting old. Maybe he just likes giving me nice things because I make him feel alive, not like a fixer-upper project. I make him laugh, Lena. I make him light up. You don't know what it's like because you've never actually had it. You just thought you did. Maybe. Or maybe I just recognized what he was lighting up with wasn't fire. It was a fuse. You know, it's actually kind of satisfying watching you squirm in this passive little way. You won't come right out and admit how much this is eating at you, but I can feel it. Every time I text you about some gift or how good he looks holding my hand, I know you're sitting there telling yourself you're above it, but you're not. You're just bitter. You thought you had him, and now I do. All of him. You think this is about me being bitter? Ava, I'm not jealous. I'm not stewing. I'm watching a train speed toward a broken bridge, and the person in the first car is smiling like she's on vacation. You're not making me jealous. You're making me tired. Tired of warning someone who's already decided she'd rather crash than believe she's being lied to. And that's rich coming from you. You didn't walk away because you saw the truth. You walked away because he stopped pretending. You couldn't hold on to him, and now you're trying to claw back some dignity by acting like you know something I don't. You're right. I do know something you don't. And when you finally see it for yourself, I won't be around to say, I told you so. You'll already know. I wasn't going to message you again. Figured you'd block me eventually. But honestly, I just couldn't keep this to myself. Marcus surprised me last night with this private wine tasting at this little vineyard outside the city. Private dinner, candles, a string quartet, and the whole thing felt like it was scripted out of a dream. And I just kept thinking, damn, Lena really let this go? Like, you had him and somehow you dropped him? I mean, I get it now. You didn't know what to do with someone like him. He does know how to set a scene, I'll give him that. Always did have a talent for dramatic gestures. Wow, that's all you have to say? He sets a scene? No tears? No outrage? You do realize you lost your boyfriend, right? To me. I didn't steal him. You left the door wide open and I walked right in. You're really just gonna sit there acting like none of this matters to you? What matters to me is what's true. And if you think you took something from me, Ava, you might want to wait a little longer before you start celebrating. Because you don't actually know what you've got yet. There it is, the cryptic stuff again. You've been doing this for weeks now. The quiet superiority, the ominous little hints, and I'm sick of it. You obviously think you're sitting on some bombshell that's going to wreck me, so stop dragging it out. Just say it already. All right, he's married. Excuse me? Marcus, he has a wife, not a girlfriend, not a complicated ex. A wife. They've been married for years. You're not his new beginning, you're his newest distraction. No, that's not true. He would have told me. He talks about his future all the time, about starting over, about building something real. He's not some lying, two-faced. He didn't tell me either, Ava. I found out by accident. And when I asked him about it, he didn't deny it. He just deflected like it was no big deal. That's how I learned how well he plays this game. Then why didn't you say anything sooner? You let me walk right into this. You let me fall for him knowing he was someone else's husband. Would you have listened? You called me jealous, bitter, insecure. Every time I tried to say something that didn't fit your fantasy, you mocked me. I figured you needed to see it for yourself, and now you have. Even if everything you're saying is true, and I'm not saying it is, that doesn't erase what he and I have. Maybe you were just someone he passed the time with. Maybe what we have is what finally changed him. People evolve. Maybe I'm the one who made him stop running. You think I didn't tell myself the same thing? That maybe I was the reason he'd finally walk away from it all? For a while, I believed it. I held on to the hope that I was special enough to be worth the truth. But the truth is, Marcus doesn't change. He adapts. He becomes what you need until he's gotten what he wants. Then he disappears. And he leaves you standing there wondering if any of it was ever real. I don't believe that. I won't. He looks at me like I'm the only thing keeping him from falling apart. I've seen the way his eyes change when we're alone. He trusts me. He opens up. You can't fake what he shows me. Yes, he can. He's had a lot of practice. He did it with me. He's done it with others. And the longer you convince yourself you're the exception, the harder the fall is going to be when you realize you're not. You keep acting like you know everything, like you've got him figured out and I'm just the next fool in line. But if you're right, why are you even talking to me? Why aren't you just letting me figure it out the hard way? Because even if you've been awful, even if you've gone out of your way to hurt me, I still wouldn't wish him on anyone, not even you. You don't get to decide what he is to me. I'm not deciding anything. I'm just showing you the cliff you're sprinting toward. Whether you stop or not, that's entirely on you. Something's wrong. I haven't heard from him in days. No texts, no calls, nothing. I thought maybe he was just overwhelmed or needed space, but now I'm getting flagged transactions on my card, thousands of yen gone. I gave him access. He said it was just for emergencies. He said he'd never use it without asking. Lena, where the hell is he? Wait, you gave him your card? Are you kidding me? Ava, what were you thinking? Did you seriously give him access to your money? I didn't think he'd take it. He said he needed it for work stuff, something about closing out an old account. I thought it was temporary. He looked me in the eye when he said he'd pay it back. Oh my God. Well, he's gone. That's what he does. He drains you dry, waits until there's nothing left, and then disappears like none of it ever happened. No explanation, no apology, just a ghost in a suit and a mess in your name. No. He wouldn't. Not like this. He cried in front of me. He told me I made him feel safe. He said he wanted to build something with me. You don't fake that. You don't cry your way through that. Yes, you do, when it works. That man could cry on command and break your heart with a hug. I fell for it too. I gave him pieces of myself I didn't even know I was offering. And when I finally pulled away, he was already looking for someone else to bleed dry. He cleaned out my savings, all of it. The rent money's gone. The boutique coat, gone. He must have taken it when I was in the shower. You gave him everything, and he took it like it was owed. You wanted him so badly, Ava. Now you've got nothing but the aftermath. Marcus disappeared 3 days after Ava's bank froze her account. No goodbye, no note, just vanished. Turns out the coat he bought her was charged to a card flagged for fraud weeks earlier. By the time she realized her rent money was gone, he'd already opened 2 credit lines in her name. She went to the police, but with no formal agreement, no proof of coercion, it's a civil matter. His wife filed for divorce after a private investigator handed her enough photos to crush whatever illusion she had left. And his family? They won't even speak his name now. He drained their business accounts and left a legal disaster in his wake. They're still trying to recover what he siphoned off. As for Ava, she left the city. She said she needed a fresh start somewhere quieter. She never apologized, not that I expected her to. Some people don't say sorry until they've lost something they actually valued. Me? I'm fine. I walk with a limp now when it rains, but that passes. The kind of limp Ava has, the kind that follows you into every room, that one sticks. Some lessons don't heal clean.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.